Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm doing great. Good day. Y'all see me here. I am looking at my computer here. I don't know why it's doing double feedback. It's my computer doing that. Great. All right, we're having a little technical difficulty today with Zoom. I'm not sure why. But let me turn down my volume and I'll just talk. Can everybody still hear me? If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Everybody, can you hear me okay?
I hear you.
Okay, good. All right, here we go. So we're good. So, all right, today we're going to talk about building your brand. This is the class I gave last week at Fernando, and I think it's kind of important for a recap. So we're going to go through this presentation and hopefully give you guys some tips and tricks to help you be a little bit better with your brand and who you represent as yourself and what that looks like. So here we go. I think, let's see here. We're going to keep going. Okay, so we have some objectives today. Here's our objectives. We have 4 of them. Very simple. We're going to try and keep this simple today. We got to understand the core elements of what a personal brand is. We got to learn how to leverage client interactions. We need to implement a strategic communication plan, and we need to expand your brand. I got a typo, that's right. Beyond your sphere of influence. We're going to try and get more business. So, with that being said, your brand is more than just your logo or your business card. It's the promise that you make to every client and the impression you leave along after the deal is done. It's creating repeat business. In our environment today, a strong brand can mean the difference between being the go-to agent in your market and getting lost in the crowd. There are 250,000 realtors in Florida and growing, plus we're competing against all these big companies that are trying to push us out. We need to be the ones that people think of when they say we want to buy or sell real estate. So there's several powerful ways that we're going to talk about to build, refine, and elevate your brand. So we're going to use 4 descriptive terms. These are words that I think you need to always remember when you're doing anything with your brand. You need to ask yourself these 4 words and if they matter to what you're doing. So the first one is, let's think about something. Think about the last time you recommended another service, whether it was a roofer, someone to get your car, a restaurant, getting your oil changed, having your carpets cleaned, whatever it may be. What made you remember that person? And I'm going to say most of the time it was the way that they made you feel. And it was the way how they communicated, how they follow up, and how they made you feel. I used the example a couple weeks ago when I had to go to the doctor and I kept getting text messages throughout the process from my doctor reminding me of the steps of the procedure I was about to have. And that really blew me away because I was not expecting that to happen. So the question you have to really ask yourself is, what do you want people to remember about you when they think of real estate? What do you want them to think about you? Because your brand is doing the talking for you. It's not you, it's your brand. So 4 words: persuasive. This is generally all types of marketing. These are the 4 things that you have to think about with everything you do. Being persuasive means you're actually having somebody do something that you want them to do. It's having a compelling message with a clear call to action, and it has to align with that customer's needs and motivations. The big thing is, and especially in real estate, nobody thinks of real estate until they need a real estate agent. Nobody cares. We live in this real estate world. We're thinking real estate 24/7, but most people are not. Most people are not thinking anything about real estate until they need a real estate agent. And that's when you want your brand and your message to be persuasive to say, hey, call me. And for example, instead of just saying, hey, I can help you sell your house, imagine having your home sold in just 30 days for top dollar. Let's make that happen together. That's a persuasive type of messaging. Instead of just, hey, if you need real estate help, let me know. It could be, hey, has anyone explained to you how to sell or buy a property in today's current market with all the things that are happening? I'd love to help give you that message. That's being persuasive. The next one is your message has to be timely. You have to be able to deliver your message and your brand at the right moment because it's different to different people. buyers, sellers, people in different phases of their life, whatever they may be. It could be a job transfer, it could be downsizing, it could be we just had a baby and we need a bigger house. Everybody's timing is differently. Your message needs to be timely. One of the things that we do, and I'm going to kind of throw some anecdotes as we go along, is that we feel we need to be continually having new and different messages. But we got to remember, not everybody's at the same spot we are when we are thinking about real estate. A lot of times, a consistent message over and over and over and over and over again. It may sound like, oh my gosh, it's so redundant to me, but to most people, they're just hearing it. You never know when someone's going to hear the message. So, for example, I said, don't just think of sending a property or market report to a customer. You got to send weekly things and articles and reminders. You need to be constantly keeping people in the loop of what you're doing with real estate. Obviously, if you want to be top of mind, it's got to be memorable. And memorable comes from an experience and emotion. You have to create an experience and touch points that will leave a lasting impression with people. If you're helping a customer, don't just show up, list the house, give them a few calls. You need to be constantly in communication with them throughout the process. Obviously, we had the class a couple weeks ago with the CRM, which we're going to talk about, and that can really help you stay in touch with people and do the heavy lifting and working for you and keep you memorable. We always think of a closing gift, like sending a personalized gift, a thank you card, but you need to send something that will help you to stay in touch with those people. All right, last one is professional. This is very important to me as well. You got to maintain a polished and consistent image across all of your interactions. It's got to be simple and easy to recognize. That's the big thing. We've talked about it in the past. You need 4 to 5 images of yourself, not just your headshot. It needs to be your full body on a couple. It needs to be you in front of a house, whatever you're doing, but 4 to 5 that you use. You need to have a logo. You need to have colors. You need to have a tagline. It's got to be consistent, and it's got to be across all of your platforms. People need to see you as a brand, not as a person. So with that in mind, there's 7 areas of focus that we're going to work on over the next couple of weeks, and this will be going out to you. It is being recorded. So the first thing is that your email is probably the most important thing that you can focus on. And your email signature, not just your logo, not just your name and your phone number and your email in there, but it's got to be a brand part. It's got to be part of your brand, whether it's an image logo, whether it's an image signature, it's something done with click links, it's done in your CRM. It's got to be consistent. It's got to have your logo and the SandPeak logo on it. It needs to have your headshot. It needs to have a tagline. These all reinforce your brand to somebody. You know, real estate real simple is SandPeak's tagline. Real estate real simple across all platforms. You need to make sure that your contact information is clear and accessible, and you need to look at it and have other people look at it. And it needs to be in the same order across all of your devices. So for example, if you do your phone number first, and then your email, and then your website, and whatever else you're doing, it needs to be in the same steps on all platforms. Everything you do, you can do it on your phone, you can do it on your email, you can do it on your CRM, you can do it in your Messenger and Facebook. You can make sure it's that way in all your social media. Everything needs to be consistent. And the big thing it needs to be, and I'm going to send you a link to one later today, it needs to have a call to action. It needs to be a super email. So at the bottom of your email is something that forces people to do something more, like click here to download my free market report. Click here to find out why living in Tampa is the best place to live. Click here to see how much your equity is in your home. Whatever it may be, every single email needs to have a clickable call to action that takes them somewhere, either to your social media, to your website, to your CRM, something where it's a landing page where people go to get more information. Because again, you're trying to capture them. You are swimming in a big sea of real estate agents. We need to keep you in front of as many people as we can, and you need to have continual action. You need to also include that your social media links to connect on multiple platforms, because not everybody communicates the same way. Some people text, Some people email, some people message, some people see you through Instagram, some people see through YouTube, some people see you through Facebook. You need to make sure that you are linking everything. Your signature is kind of like getting you to one spot. And again, make sure it's consistent across all of your brands. Most of you, I see your email is just your name, or maybe just your phone number. Think of this as your business card. It needs to be very consistent. I know many of you have probably seen examples or received emails from professional companies that have a great signature. Focus on this. Let this be the first step to you building a super brand, is your email signature. Next one, your CRM database. It got pushed down there. Sorry, I'll fix that later, but your CRM is the most important thing you have right now because it allows you to segment your contacts by different groups. It allows you to automate follow-ups. You can track your interactions. You can create checklists and flows for your processes and your transactions. You can put drip campaigns in to stay top of mind. You can analyze who's opening your data, your emails, and seeing your landing pages and everything that you do. So if you are not in a CRM, we have been heavily focused on the CRM. You need to get into the CRM. These big companies are buying up big other companies. For example, Rocket just bought out Redfin. And I know there's still some interaction going with that. The reason why they wanted them, they didn't want them for the name. They wanted them for their database of contacts because they are going to be flooding all of those people with information. They want that database. Information and contact information is probably the most powerful thing you have as an agent. And if you're not getting that information and leveraging a database, you are completely missing out because that's where you can build your brand. That's where you can consistently be pushing your messages, consistently be pushing your images. So focusing on a database is the second part. And the cool thing with our Wise Agent database that most of you use is you can have different email signatures for different segments. A different email for a buyer, different email for a seller, different email for past clients, whatever it may be. You can have different emails with different call to actions, and that really makes a big difference. Third one, your social presence. This is really where the rubber hits the road with your brand. You need to select a couple of primary platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube are the three that I recommend. And you need to get really, really good at them. The market is starting to turn. The market is starting to heat up a little bit. It's going to start getting a lot more competitive. If you are not in those brands and not focusing and knowing how to work in those platforms, you are at a severe disadvantage. The nice thing is you can go to YouTube and you can learn anything you want to about how to work in those brands. It's very simple, but you need to be able to do that. And you need to also have a content calendar. And I say that with a mix of educational, promotional, and personal content. People want to know who you are. People want to know what you're doing. And then people also need to learn from you. That's the most important thing. It's very important for you to educate your buyers and sellers on the process. For example, the big one we're going through right now is sellers. Yes, you don't have to offer compensation, but you will be paying it as part of the offer process. And let me explain to you why. You could do that in email. You could do that on your website. You could do that in a blog. You could do that in a video. But educating your buyers and sellers is part of your brand build because you need to be known as not only an expert in real estate, but also as an educator, a teacher, a guide, someone who is going to help these people through the process. And that's part of your brand. Video is probably the best way to do it. Most of us will spend a lot of time on our phones. We were just told, and it makes sense, that kids today, by the time they die in 75, 80 years, will have spent 25 years of their life in front of screens. Think about that. That's how much time everybody spends on their phones. If you have an iPhone, you can actually log in and see how much screen time you have in a day. And I think it will blow you away. It's hours and hours and hours. But video is where it's all at. Because what that allows you to do is engage. And you need to make sure that when you do videos and Facebook posts and Instagram posts, you respond to people and you engage with them. You answer their comments, you answer their messages. Maybe do some live sessions of Facebook. I'm previewing a property and I put it on live and people are, hey, what's going on with that property? Or can you show me that room? Or hey, tell me a little bit more about the neighborhood. Engaging in people in live is brand building. That's helping you to become an expert. Another thing you need to leverage is paid ads. There's a whole other class of that coming on later this month, or actually next month, we're going to do that. But you need to be able to expand your brand. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So social presence is big, part of your brand building. Another thing that you have access to, which we don't leverage enough, is our properties. And we need to do a much better job of leveraging what our properties will allow us to do to build our brand. You need to make sure that your branding is consistent on your signage, your flyers, and everything online. If you haven't redone your photos and your signs in 3, 4, 5 years, it's probably time to do that. Yes, you got to spend a little money to make a little money, but leveraging all that, making sure it's all consistent across all of your platforms is so important. Your properties are what people want to see. It's the reason why you're a real estate agent. So you need to make sure that you have consistent imaging on all of those. Make sure at your open houses, you have a branded handouts. They've got your photo, they've got your contact information, they've got your colors, they've got your logo. Again, everything is consistent. The more you can put in people's hands, the better. Real estate and sales is all about talking and communicating with people. The more people you can talk to, the more business you're going to do. So if you can communicate with your flyers and your email signatures and your brand, not just talking like this, like I am with you guys, but also letting your marketing materials, your brand do a lot of talking for you, it's going to help you a lot. Market stats, home buyer guides, things like that are very important. You need to learn how to capture contact with a digital sign-in and follow-up system as well. Your CRM system has an amazing way to capture people's information. And once it comes in, it can do a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of brand building for you. But you got to learn how to do that. If you've not been into the office or set an appointment with Joshua or I to do this, you need to. It's time. It's time to get back into your real estate business. The reason why we like the CRM so much is because it can help us build our brand. You need to utilize video tours and virtual open houses for a wider reach. An open house doesn't have to just be, I'm sitting in the property and I've got signs out and directional signs. I'm trying to bring real people in. Digital open houses are also a big thing. You could put it on Facebook. Hey, I'm going to be opening up one of my properties on Thursday from 3 to 4. If you would like to have a video tour of this property or you want some information about this property, join me live. You can ask questions. I can show you anything in real time. That is a thing today, folks. There's a lot of business in those virtual open houses. You need to also learn to start with your properties, expanding beyond just the property and learning how to sell and highlight unique selling points and neighborhood features, because that's part of your brand. You are a neighborhood expert, a real estate expert. You're not just someone who is, here's a house, here's the information. No, I'm a resource. That's part of your brand. So when you think of your properties, you need to think of everything that you can do with that property and expand on it. Here's a great call to action on an email. When you send an email out about a property, I just got a new listing. Click below to find out more about this neighborhood, or click below to find out more about living in Spring Hill. So your email, your brand, anything you can do more to get information to people is going to be helpful. Reach out. This is the biggest thing. You need to learn how to personalize your outreach based on your client's needs. And I just put a couple, obviously, first-time buyers, investors, people looking in golf course communities, 55 and up, people wanting to build a house, people wanting to go into new neighborhoods. You need to learn how to segment what you say, because not everybody is thinking the same way and wanting the same thing. But you have to get away from yourself also not being just one thing in one message. You have to learn how to individualize messages. People want relationships. That's what they're looking for. Your brand can help you do that. You need to make sure you're sending quarterly market updates, at least quarterly, to your contacts. And you need to always be offering resources. I like the home maintenance checklist, a moving guide, whatever it may be.
Like
But your follow-up needs to be thoughtfully done. You need to probably spend 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day in your CRM. One of the things I saw a speaker online. I thought it was really good, just like a YouTube short. And he said that as real estate agents, we need to set aside 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, either 8 to 11 or 9 to 12, and do nothing but try to generate new business. You're in your CRM, you're making phone calls, you're talking to people that aren't active customers, and you are working every day 2 to 3 hours every day in that CRM. And he made a point. He goes, yeah, but what if I have a home inspection and the home inspector could only get there at 11 o'clock? You know what he said? Go find a different home inspector. I'm available after 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock. You are a professional. If you call a doctor, these are the times I have available to see you. You call an attorney, these are the times I have available to see you. Which ones would you like? I can give you Monday at 1, Wednesday at 3, or Friday at 5 o'clock. Which one would you like? You guys need to start being that as well, because that reach out period, that reach out time is so very important. On the flip side, make sure you're getting feedback and testimonials. That helps build your credibility. It helps build your brand. You need to be getting it consistently. You need to get with Joshua and learn how to put that information on your website that we have for you. It's very easy to do. It just takes a little bit of training. You need to make sure that you're doing it on Zillow, on the MLS, Google, whatever platforms you use. You need to make sure that you're getting that testimonial. All right, expanding the reach. This is where we're going to start getting out, okay? Your CRM has a lot of people, but you need to reach out to those people. What I want you all to start thinking about is, my goal, obviously, is to try and find a sale, a buyer or seller in my CRM. You're always searching for that. You're always fishing in your CRM. But what my real goal is to be talking to the people in my CRM and then have them help me find somebody outside of my CRM that's interested in bringing it in, or my brand is going outside of my CRM and helping me in other ways, like ads and Facebook posts and Instagrams and YouTube videos and things like that, to help me get more people, okay? You need to really think on one of the best ways to do it is you're trying to solve their clients' problems. My problem is I want to buy a house and I don't know how. I want to sell a house and I don't know how, or I don't have the time, or I don't understand the process. You need to always be thinking in terms of, how can I help you solve a problem? Not just, how can I help you buy or sell a house? How can I help you solve your problem? You should partner with your local businesses, your vendors, or other businesses to do things to help you get a bigger reach, okay? And you need to make sure you have lots of lead magnets, seller's checklist, market analysis, neighborhood information, whatever it may be, so you can help get new leads. Networking is very big as well. And I'm not talking about networking within our industry. We need to get out of our industry. Mixers at the board are great if you just want to go chit chat with other realtors and maybe pick up a few new vendors. But you need to get out. Join a bowling league, join a golf league, volunteer somewhere, work at the library, go work with kids, do things at your church. You need to get involved in order to expand your reach. And you need to learn how to follow up with a prospect very quickly and add them to your CRM every day. You should have a goal every day. I want to meet 10 new people and put their contact information in my CRM. It's not hard. You probably interact, as long as you get out of your house, with 50, 75, 100 people a day. You really do. You need to have a goal though. I want to add 10 people to my CRM every day. If you can do that, you're going to expand your reach. Black one. We got to start thinking outside the box. One thing I would love for you to do is go on YouTube or go on Facebook and find two different things. First of all, let's go find realtors that live outside of our area. One of my favorites to follow, I think she does a fantastic job, is Shannon Gillette. She's a realtor in Phoenix. She does an amazing job with her YouTube videos. I think it's very simple for everyone to do. I'll send you a link to her, what she does. She's a great example of an agent that you should be mimicking. You don't have to create the stuff new. Go outside of our market and copy what somebody else does, and then it'll start to become yours. Another thing is you need to go outside of our industry and see what other people do. You need to go find what are others doing outside of our industry, the insurance industry, selling cars, I don't know, selling widgets. It doesn't matter. What is working outside of our industry? What captures your attention? You need to do the same thing. You need to look outside of real estate sometimes. And here's the next thing too. Don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none real estate agent. This is what I mean. Pick your clients. If you want to work with families that are single family homes and townhomes and villas that are move up in the $300, $400, $500, $600 million range, then don't also go work with clients who are looking for a wobbly box and their budget's $200,000 and they want to live in downtown Clearwater. That doesn't make any sense. You need to be an expert as part of your brand to everyone. Now, if you want to work with those clients, great, but that's not your brand. Your brand is who you're working with. We've got several agents. Their brand is working in Timber Pines. That's who they should be. We are the Timber Pines experts. We know everything there is about living in a 55 and up golf course community. This is our expertise. This is who we are. If you've got a client who says, hey, I want to live in a wobbly box somewhere, great, take them out and do it. But that's not part of your brand. Okay. And you also have to understand that the trends and the norms in our industry and in sales in general are always changing. Your brand needs to be evolving as well. You need to work like once a month on your brand and make sure that it's consistent and make sure that it looks good. You need to ask yourself, would I hire myself to help myself buy or sell a house? If the answer is no, then you need to seriously look at why. Okay. ChatGPT is an amazing tool to help you build your brand as well. We're going to do a course on that. Another video, the next series we're going to do is on using ChatGPT to help me build my brand. This entire presentation I'm doing right now was done with ChatGPT, and then I customized it to myself. But the entire thing, from the idea, all of my notes, to the talking points, to the actual presentation, took me 30 minutes with ChatGPT to help me show you that you could build this brand. We're going to work on that. All right, the last thing with working outside the box is make sure you're in your CRM and touching every single person in there every 90 days. If you don't touch someone in 90 days, they aren't a contact. And you need to ask that why. You need to put them in a separate group or get them out. But you need to be cycling through your CRM every 90 days. So let's wrap this up. Okay, I'm going to give you a call to action. You have areas that you need to build your brand. So it's time to take action. So what I'm going to ask you to do is choose an area of focus on for the next week. I think it should be starting with your email signature and figuring that out. But it also could be automating your CRM, creating social media content, whatever it may be. Start small, stay consistent, and you got to watch that brand go. This is a great quote. It said, in today's competitive market, your brand is more than just a logo. It's how people perceive you, remember you, and the most important part, refer you, because that's our goal. We want referral business, but you got to start with something, okay? I hope this was informative. It's a lot of information. You're going to get this emailed to you later today, so you can watch it again. You've got the talking points. my point for you is this, is you need to spend time working on your business, not just in your business. Don't let your clients and your daily task and your things that you think that you're doing to stay busy overtake your need to grow your business. And growing your business means that you are working on your business and making sure that your brand is being built, your messaging is consistent, you have great data, you're working in your CRM, and more importantly, you're talking to new people. You're bringing new leads and new people into your sphere. So that way you can build your business going out of your sphere with your brand. If you guys have any questions, let Joshua or I know. Again, I highly recommend that if you are using Wise Agent currently, schedule time with Joshua or I. It's going to take more than one meeting. It's going to take 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 meetings to really get you flowing into that CRM. But it's an amazing tool when you get it going. If you want proof, the person who I think is using the CRM and actually getting leads out of it now incredibly well is Dick Maxwell. Agent Dick Maxwell is a great resource to just say, hey, Dick, does this stuff really work? And he's going to tell you absolutely it does. But he spends a lot of time in it. You do as well. We also, if you need help with your email, with trying to figure out how to build your brand, we can do that in Canva real easy for you. What that looks like, you got to reach out to us. You got to take the time to come out of your house and out of your little home office and out of your little bubble and out of your turtle shells and get into the office and get with your team that is here to help support you and grow your business. That's our job. That's what we love to do. And that's what we want to extend to you and offer to help you do. So if you guys have any questions, just reach out to me by email or text, and we will be happy to answer questions. Good luck, everyone. And you guys did a great job.
Thank you, Mike.
Hang on just 1 minute, everyone. All right, there we go.